Or you're getting all the babies.
Who's selecting for
Lucky day. Hi everyone, welcome to Being Youthful. I'm Kim Beegler. I'm the owner of Youthful Fiber Farm and Mail, and welcome. Whether you've been here or not, welcome, welcome. It was shearing last week, so I thought I'd start off with a clip shearing video. I've got a few more that I will share at the end, and I've also got a mail video. Not a ton of mail videos, but I do have a mail video. And anyway, I've got stuff for you. So sit back, grab your knitting or your crocheting or your weaving and relax, right? Okay, so shearing. I almost forgot, you guys, when I was trying to do some notes for this week, I was like, oh, right, shearing, which was it only last week? I guess it was only last week. And everything went glorious. Our shears are wonderful. It was like a well-oiled machine of Mitch grabbing sheep, handing them to the shearers, the shearer shearing, me pulling fleeces, helping get sheep back out the door, all the things. So it went really well. The fleeces are spectacular. And I don't know if I'll have time to go look at them with you before I put this out, but if not, I'll probably be back next week. So I'll include some showing you their fleeces then. They're just beautiful. And as makes sense when talking to my shearer, you know, our sheep were not breeding anymore. So we're going into the second year of not breeding them. So last year when we pulled fleeces, a lot of our mamas had been nursing, and that affects the quality of their wool because they are putting, especially when they are pregnant, right? They're putting so much energy into growing those little babies and to then nursing once they're out that they can get wool breaks or just not have a great quality wool. But when they are not doing any of those things, not expected to do anything, guess what they do? They just eat and then they make great wool, and they eat and then they grow wool and they sleep. They do that. That's basically all the sheep have going on. And so their wool, even from my oldest ewe, who I haven't gotten great wool off of in years because she's been lambing or nursing, spectacular, spectacular. So I'll try to get into the shop and show you some of those fleeces. They will definitely be making their way into the online shop, hopefully over the next month or so. The weather was perfect. You know, this is earlier than we've shorn before. It can be very cold, like right now. We've had some really cold nights, but it timed out really well. It just takes maybe 3-4 days for the sheep to grow just a little bit of wool back that helps insulate them again with whatever the temperature may be. So it timed out perfect for them. They were comfortable during the, I think it was almost 60, which is insane. For a couple days during the day, only got down into the 40s for the first couple nights. Now they're aces. And Cuddlebug, our goat, well, he basically, if you look at him, he's freezing. If you don't look at him, he's fine. And he's adjusted perfectly fine now. But in the beginning, he's a character, man. He is a goat. Okay, because I'm talking about the Shetlands and how they're growing such lovely wool. You guys, my filming is all weird. We did an upgrade on my phone and I think Mitch changed. Anyway, hopefully it'll be all right and it won't look too weird. It looks really weird to me. Anyway, and I want to make sure my microphone isn't hitting everything. Okay, so I wanted to show you wool break because in that big bale that I've been working on, the Suffolk wool, a lot of it has been waste wool. Now, some of that is because there's always a lot of waste wool in fleeces between poo, vegetable matter, just belly wool can be really worn, all the things that can make wool. But another thing is wool break, which is most likely for most of these sheep that I've had to toss fleeces. it is when the wool literally breaks. There's a weak spot in the wool while it was growing. Usually for all of these sheep that are in this bale, I'm gonna guess because they were pregnant and lambing and nursing then, right around the time where these breaks probably would have happened. They don't shear until spring. They lamb, I think, or they lamb midwinter. So there's several months for that wool to keep growing. And if the ewes system was a little bit lower because she's trying to do all these other things, the wool's not going to grow as well. So I have a great example. This is a prime example. So you can see, so I'm very hyper aware now when I am skirting that bale to make sure to check fleeces as I go through. Do you see this right here? This is all one bit of wool. You can see it would have been kind of in the same lock area, but this one I tested and I haven't tested. So you can see how it literally breaks, and I'm going to show you very easily. So you've heard probably, or maybe not, about the ping test. It's not going to work on this wool, but basically ping test, you hold, and I've talked about it, I know, in an episode. If I can find it easily, I'll let you know. If you hold each end and you do a quick snap, you should hear a very clear ping, which says the wool is nice and strong and healthy. But in some cases, you do this. No ping there. So that is wool break. Like I said, most likely in a lot of these sheep, it's because they were bred and growing babies and nursing and all the things. So their body had more important things to do than grow wool. So any fleece like this is gone for me because it's going to just make a hot mess once it goes through the washer, all the things. So that's why there was such an excessive amount of waste wool in that bale. And I'm not going to say that's not probably how a fair amount of bales are. These shepherds aren't growing for wool. They are going to breed and to sell stock. So it's a very different focus, shall I say. Okay, so there's wool break. Another thing, Cuttlebug. I mentioned the goat. I'll put a picture of him here. Cuttlebug is a dork. And I did something exciting, and I sent all of Cuttlebug's fiber off from probably the last 3 to 4 years. I sent it to a mill. How exciting is that? It is going to Zeilinger's, which cannot remember where it is, but I will put the information in the show notes, and I'll put the name here and even tell you where it is. But they're a pretty sizable mill. They do custom processing for anybody watching and looking. I believe they're in the Midwest, but I can't even remember. I just slapped the label on it. So Cuttlebug, I saved a little bit because who knows when it will come back. It most likely will be several months. Here is some of Cuttlebug's fiber before, and here's like some locks out of him from shearing. So he is going off to another mill because his fiber needs to be dehaired. He's a Pygora goat, so he is a cross of Angora and mohair goats. So Pygora, and it's a very luxury, beautiful fiber, but they do get a lot of guard hairs in there, and you want to pull the guard hairs out. So the dehairing pulls the guard hairs out and leaves the fine stuff, which is what I'll get all of it back actually from them, because they just send all the waste, they send everything straight back to you. So when it comes back, I'll be sure to be on here and say anybody who is a needle felter or a wet felter especially, the waste wool is perfect for that. So anyway, there goes Cuttlebug. He's off. I sent 10 pounds of him because I generally shear him twice a year, and I've just been acquiring, and I will most likely blend it likely with our Shetland, and I will definitely have some available for you guys when that fiber gets, but like I said, they were very nice. They just say, send it. Well, I emailed and said, do I need to be on a waiting list? They said, no, just send it. And I sent it dirty and everything. I'm like, let them wash it, because every mill has their own standard of washing. Ideally, we're all trying to get to the same level of washing, of clean, I should say, but everybody has their different levels of what they will tolerate. So anyway, easier for me just to say, here, wash it, take care of it. Also, when you dry it, those little guard hairs fly everywhere, and I just don't want to deal with it. So there's that. Very exciting. Fun to use a mill for some of my own fiber. Okay, we sent Cuttlebug. I have got, oh yes, the other thing that happened is that I got a new wheel. And if you were following on Instagram or anywhere like that, you may have seen me pick it up and even do a video, and I'll show you guys it in a minute here. But I'm so excited about this wheel. I was randomly searching on Facebook marketplace, which you shouldn't do, or you should, I don't know. Anyway, I came across this wheel. I was actually looking to find more functional, newer wheels, I should say, and messaged the woman. And then when I got more history on it, I was like, oh, I can't leave this wheel here. It had been packed in a box for a very long time. And before it had been packed in the box, it had been owned by a older man who passed away in his 90s. And apparently he'd had the wheel for a very long time in his house. And when he passed, he gifted all of his antiques to the neighbor that had been helping take care of him. So the wheel came with it. The wheel from that person was given to the woman I bought it from. I think that was a family member, and she gave it to her. She was going to use it for decor in her house. It sat in a box for a very long time, which is all wonderful things when these beautiful old wheels show up and then they get saved in a nice dry environment, in a warmish environment, or they get taken away and are saved that way, whatever it may be. It basically saves their lives. So this wheel ended up being from, we're gonna say mid 1800s. The maker, there is a stamp on it, and it's F. Young, and he made spinning wheels in Nova Scotia. And he was alive 1810 to 1899. So this wheel dates from somewhere in there. It's beautiful. The craftsmanship alone is absolutely stunning. And I'm so excited to have it. And it spins yarn. I'm not gonna say she's the prettiest. Her wheel is very untrue. The bobbins are pretty untrue, but because the divots in the wheel, and I'll show you guys when I go over to it, the divots are so deep in the wheel, probably from tons of use, that the drive band actually stays in place. A lot of times if the wheel is super untrue like this one, the drive band will fly off, but it's not. So I was able to spin a yarn. It's going to be sitting here at the mill for people, hand spinners. You're welcome to come and sit and try to spin on it. I probably will try to limit it to hand spinners because she doesn't need a lot of extra wear and tear. Not a learning wheel, but she's so pretty. So let's go over, we'll see her, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. Okay, see you guys at the wheel. Anyway, okay, you guys. So I have found that long draw maybe is not the jam for this wheel, just because if I do long draw, it gives more of an opportunity for the bobbin to pop back and forth with that wheel. As you can see, the wheel is a little wobbly there. So short forward seems to be her magical place, but I haven't played with her a ton. There may be some room. I've thought about trying to find a wheelwright. I know there's one around, but I don't know. I kind of just like letting her do what she does. And you can see actually that my foot is not turned quite at the angle that the other person would have had their foot turned out, but I can see that they would have just had, you can hear all the clickities of her, but I can see that they would have had the wheel turned more so like that and would have had their foot there, which is a different way to spin, that's for sure. And maybe I can get a little more out of her. Looks like I probably can do a little bit better long draw with her, but that would take some skill for me. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to get a chance to see her in action, see how beautiful she is, and if you come by the mill, you can sit down and try her out. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so if you're coming to the mill, you'll get to see her. If you're coming, we do have a mill day coming up. It is a week from this Saturday, February 25th, I'm gonna say, from 10 to 30. I will be here, the mill shop will be open, there will be snacks, there will be most likely people hanging out, knitting, spinning, crafting, and good cheer. So come on out if you're here, and you can check out the wheel. Okay, before I forget, my online course, Let's Make Yarn, is getting ready to launch again. It will be available at the end of this month in just like 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half actually. February 28th, it is available again. It'll be available for about 10 days or so. So I've changed it up a little bit, and I've decided this time to include with purchase the Zoom live group coaching. So it'll run for 6 weeks, starting about a week or two after the course is available, to give people some time to start. If you purchased the course before and you want to jump in on the Zoom coaching, I sent an email out, but you're welcome to join for just a little bit extra. And the reason I decided to add this is because everybody that Zoomed with me in the first round of the course is making yarn. So not only, and I think what they kind of said was the community portion is huge, right? The support that you get from each other, the cheerleading we get from each other, I get just as much as from the Zooming as they do, by the way. I love it. But it was just enough like meeting up to keep them moving through the course. If they took a little delay or whatever, you can learn absolutely just from taking the course by yourself. But the Zoom was like enough, like, oh, we're meeting up. Let me try it. Let me make sure I'm doing something before we get on there, making some progress. So it just kind of, it's not like I was on the Zoom saying, get your spinning in. But what did you do? You didn't do it. I didn't do that at all. I was just excited to see everybody show up, but it turns out that that is enough to keep everybody moving along, especially when you see other people in the class moving along. So we have done some show and tells, everybody's shown yarn. Anyway, so that's a fun new addition to the course. So watch for that. Next week, there will be some webinars that I am doing, and you can start signing up next week. So I will send out emails and all of those things. If you're not on my email list, please pop in and jump anywhere on the website. You can join the newsletter. I offer quick tips. You also get good dibs at some of the new products. That's where I put them first. So it's a great place to be. Anyway, the webinars will be available to sign up for starting next week, and I'm very excited to do them. They're live. I go on. I'll be talking all about the joys of hand spinning, the benefits of hand spinning, some strategies to get yourself ready to learn, because you can learn to hand spin. And now I know for sure I can teach you. I thought I could teach you because I have taught before, but online was a different way of doing it, and we know for sure now it works. So I'm excited. So watch for all of that. What have I been working on? Let's see some of that. Okay, so I just want to update you on a couple things. Let's update you on the thing that I didn't even know I needed to update you on. So some of you may remember, if you've been watching for a while, I started, I'm going to say before the summer last year, I started Anker's summer shirt by PetiteKnit. My cat is trying to smack me. So it's a little summer top. This is how beat up this has been. And the other night I was going to bed and Mitch was like, why are you going to bed so early? Geez, come and hang out with me upstairs. So I was like, okay, I'd already kind of put everything away. So I picked up this basket that has been sitting there forever. And I was like, oh yeah. So there is a giveaway, you guys. And the giveaway, a comment that you can make for the giveaway to make it easy for you is, how many projects do you have going? It should be, how many projects do you have going that you have completely forgotten about? Because I was like, I only have 2 projects on the needles. And then I was like, oh, except for that one pair of socks. Oh, except for that other pair of socks I'll never finish. And then I was like, totally forgot. So here we are. I picked it up, and this is the yoke. The yoke is done. I was on the last row of the yoke, and I am putting markers for the raglan sleeve increases, which I probably have done them before, but for some reason my brain wasn't working last night so I had to sit down this morning, fresh cup of coffee, start to put my stitch markers in. Never enough stitch markers. I have a friend that I just taught to knit, and she's like, I feel like I keep buying stitch markers. This is my you can never have too many, because I was like, why? Where are all my stitch markers? And I have little containers, and anyway, don't feel shame or guilt about buying stitch markers. So I am starting on this again because I was like, you know what? I could actually wear this in the summer. I am using the Cestari Wool Mill. They're in Virginia. I've talked about them before. We have got their cotton yarn in stock. I believe it's DK. So I am using their yarn. It's 100% cotton, 100% grown and milled in the USA. You can get their yarn in my online shop if you are interested in looking at that. I really like it. It's definitely not like knitting with wool, right? But I am not finding it incredibly difficult to knit with, as far as it doesn't have give, right? But it's not hurting me to knit with it. And I wanted to point this out, because this was in Fiber Club. They got these as a gift in their Fiber Club box. And I have got some that I will put in the online shop. There's different sizes for how big or small your needles are. But basically, they are to keep your stitches on your needle. And you could use them for straight needles or for knitting in the round. I mostly knit in the round, or I mostly use cabled, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. but I'm notorious for those dropping off. So I am really liking these, and you can find them in the online shop, or if you're coming in the mill day, I'll have some in shop. So you can grab them there. I wanted to point those out. And those are by Toy Sheared Sheep. I found them randomly. Very excited I did, because I think I showed you guys the tins that they made. Okay. What else am I working on? I'm working on my sweater. So I've got my nurtured sweater. You guys, I'm going to turn this. It's driving me a little bit crazy. I am working on my sweater, the nurtured sweater from Andrea Mowry. And I have run into, I knew this was going to be an issue, but I was ignoring it because that's the type of knitter that I am. Wow, I've got a mess here. So I really don't have enough yarn for this. Here's my first sleeve. I am so in love with it. I tried it on, fits perfect. I don't think I'm gonna have enough yarn. It's gonna be very touch and go if I have enough yarn. I weighed this and it's almost 3 ounces, which is a beefy, it's a beefy because it has this texture to it, right? So it's using a fair amount of yarn. I don't know that I'm gonna have enough to do. And so I'm stopping at a 3/4 sleeve is basically what I decided. We're gonna 3/4 sleeve it, and I'm gonna wing it. It is a cropped sweater, and some people have it super cropped, some people have it less than cropped. Basically what I've decided is, because the whole thing is, and you know, you're knitting up and then you're knitting up on the body. So it's not like I'm knitting down. Anyway, I think what I'm gonna do is probably add in a little bit of extra, potentially a different color at the yoke if I have to. It's kind of where I've landed on it. I have some ideas from looking through what other people did. Most people knit this just 100% straight color, which I get it. So I'm gonna play with that a little bit. I could also do, because you're going back and forth each row, so I could add in a second color to the yoke, where one strand is this, and then, you know, one row is that, the next row is another color. It's gonna be a game time decision. And the biggest decision I had was, do I just do the long sleeves? But I decided, no, let's just do 3/4 sleeves. It's been a big debate in the house. Okay, my last project, besides the insane amount that I've been hand spinning, but I didn't bring that today. So, okay, so I am working on, of course, I can't remember the name of the cow. I will have the pattern. I actually have paper patterns, which is so crazy, right? In shop. So if anyone's coming to the mill and they are interested in this, you can grab it up. But I'm working on this, basically a big long cowl. So I'm so excited. Do you see those colors? I can't with those colors. This is a dream come true. So this is hand spun, the brown. It's a natural colored fin that I hand spun, fin wool, sheep breed, all those things. And this is not natural colored, and it actually has, anyway. So now I'm at the point where the two colors come together, and then once this section, I think you do about 6 inches of this, and then I'll go, it'll be straight knitting with, well, you get it. And then you join them, and then you pick up a lot of stitches on the side and do a little side seam. But I'm so excited for, this is really, apparently I'm really into texture right now, because this textured section is what got me in on the pattern. So anyway, I will make sure to have the pattern name here and to link to it in the show notes. But I'm very excited how this is turning out. So it is gonna be very squishy, and they have it as a long, like, scarfy cowl. It will, obviously, I will double it up on myself, but whew, man, giveaway. So let's talk about the giveaway. I'm about to show you, I'm just about done, guys. I'm just about done. So I'm going to show you some mill videos that include this lovely, this is what they got in Fiber Club. It's gonna show up a little bit, but it's pretty bright, but it's gonna show up a little bit brighter here than it is. So this is Suffolk from that bale. That's what they got. Finally, my Fiber Clubbers got some Suffolk in their box, and I had dyed it in the wool. It's so pretty. I'll pop a picture in here because I spun up just a little bit of it so you can see what it looks like. I do have some available in the online shop. Probably 2 pounds or so are in there. So yeah, if you want some, grab it. The giveaway for my hand spinners, you will get, I have a bag that has 2 different shades because this is all just different dyed greens, which you'll see in a minute. There's different tones to it. So I have a bag that's almost 4 ounces that has 2 different shades in it, basically, of the greens. So that will be if you're a hand spinner for the giveaway. If you are not a hand spinner, it's time to learn. Anyway, no pressure there. But I will have some yarn for you. It probably won't be Suffolk yarn, but I will have a yarn giveaway for you. So I say, tell me how many projects you are either working on currently or how many you have forgotten about that you're working on. How many are on the needles or on the loom or somewhere on your hook that are tucked away that you totally forgot about. Whatever you want to comment about, really. But by next Tuesday, end of day, and I will pick a winner randomly. So let's go and see some more sharing videos. I will show you this being picked and carded up, and then I'll come back and say goodbye. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Made the bed. Huh? I made the bed. Oh, I moved the chicken feeders against the fence right there. Against the fence? Just pushed so that sheep wouldn't eat them. If they eat grass seed, I assume they'll eat the chicken food. Okay, hi everybody. I am picking out the very last of fiber left over from Fiber Club, and there is a couple pounds of this available in the online shop. So basically you can see I dyed it all different colors, kind of just different shades of green. Some of it's ugly, some of it's not. This is like an avocado color, and you can see how it broke in different shades, meaning the color broke out in different shades. So parts of it are a little more yellow, parts of it are a little more green. And I thought it was so ugly at first, but I have gotten to like it more. I'm gonna turn the machine on and you should still be able to hear me because I have the microphone on. So, and then we've got this much lighter color here that I really like. So anyway, I am just opening this up. This is, and I'm picking out foxtails as I go because Foxtails, man, foxtails. I'll try to find one and show you in case you don't know what a foxtail is. That's not a very good. Anyway, they are a weed that are in a lot of the pastures, and they are very hard to get rid of. It seems like if you try to use anything to kill them or even mow over them, they just get like amped up that you have done that. Here's a good and you can see that. I'm gonna make sure you guys can actually see. If I push on it, it pops out. So that's the problem with foxtails, is they're a little bit pointy. They are really good. I'll show you that in a sec. They are really good at getting into dogs' feet. And then that little point on the end, I've got a good sample to show you guys. That little point on the end likes to travel. So it'll like, a dog will step on it, or any animal really. And then it will travel. I think you'll be able to see here. Whoop. My camera can't quite focus on it, but that's the pointy end. The other end is, well, you can't really see it, can you? There you go. So they are a nuisance, basically. They can get into animals' eyes, all sorts of things. They can also get into the wool. And because of the way that they're shaped, they don't really, you have to kind of push them through to get them out. Anyway, they're not the end of the world for the wool. Much worse if they get in your dog's foot or your pig's eye or something like that. I'm always worried about. So even though the mowing them as they start to come up doesn't really help mitigate them, it does help before they start to shed off of the plant. It does help to get them before they become a nuisance, basically, for the animals. So that is our best way. We did not have foxtails when we first came on the property, but because the animals and the way that it just is kind of naturally what happens, because the animals will graze down the pasture, and so the grass gets nice and short, and that allows the weeds more sun to grow. I think that's right anyway. So anyway, I'm just finishing up this last little batch, and I'm going to show you guys here in just a second what it looks like. I didn't even say this is 100% Suffolk. From the bale, the infamous bale that still goes on and on and on. Although we are seeing a light at the end of the bale tunnel, which I will be happy about, but also sad, because I have really grown to love this wool. But guess what? I know where I can get more. All right, we're gonna load this last little bit up, and then I'm gonna take you guys over and let you see. You can see partially why I have repetitive issues with some of my joints, because so much of what I do is just these small, so much of what we all do, right? Whether you're on a computer or whatever. But I think this, coupled with then I go home and I spin and I knit, I just have to be very mindful, do lots of stretches. So let's go over and we'll take a peek at what this looks like coming out. So pull back a little bit, you can see it blowing out here, and you can see it all piled up, ready to go to the carder. So let's go ahead and go card the last of this up. Okay, everyone, so here we are getting ready to card this up, and I'm gonna not get caught up on everything. We're gonna turn this on. We're gonna turn the machine on first, and then we're gonna turn this on and let you see how lovely this fiber blends out. It's always so fun to watch the fibers as they blend. And I'm just gonna set the next batch up, and I actually took the other side of the safety guard on the other side off of the carder so that you can see a little bit better into the carder. And I'm sure I know I've said it before, but you can see as I am setting it up how there are these blue lines and another one's coming up on the carder. And what those do is help me get it even roving. So I can measure, I can weigh out the feed. And that way, the roving's a little more even. Much more important when you are doing yarn, but then it's pretty imperative. But it's also nice when you're hand spinning if the roving is nice and even. So let's go take a peek. Let's go take a peek at this. We're gonna go to the other side of the carder so that you can really see in all of those different rollers that are going. And underneath there is where all the kind of waste and any vegetable matter, anything like that collects. And then we'll come down and see this beauty as it's coming out. And it is really pretty. It has lots of little pops of brown and different colors in it. So when you spin it up, it gets a nice tweedy effect to it. And it saturates more, of course, because the fibers are more compressed. So that's where we are. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed all that. Wish is smacking me. She would like me to pay attention to her. I hope this video turns out all right. I feel like that it seems weird, but hopefully everything turned out well. That's it. I'm going to try to pop in next week to remind you guys that the webinar is up and maybe show you some of the fleeces as I'm skirting them, because I literally started skirting the next day because maybe even that night, I can't remember, but I could not help myself because every fleece I was pulling locks out and I was just mesmerized. So I will try to show you some of the Shetland fleeces and just say hi, catch you up on whatever else is going on. Until then, enter the giveaway. Subscribe below if you haven't subscribed yet. Please, we did make it to 1,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh. I've been like eking and climbing up the little mountain to get to 1,000 subscribers. But you guys, we made it. If you haven't subscribed, please help me. It is how YouTube decides what should get priority on being watched. So if you enjoy it, let YouTube know. And anyway, until next time, everybody stay healthy. I hope you're having decent weather wherever you may be, maybe even a little sunshine. Get out and enjoy a little bit of that. Stay healthy, be kind to your neighbors, and make so many pretty things. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching.